Hi, welcome to OctopusDo. I'm Christian Ross. This video is going to be the next video in the series of our European 4-in-1 chainmail weaves. What I'm going to do in this video is show you how to take the narrow bracelet that we made last time and add a row to make it a little bit wider. If you watched the last video, then you know how to do the 4-in-1, and I highly recommend that you watch the speed weaving real quick little video to add to that, because I'm actually going to use the speed weaving technique to make this a little bit wider, 2 rows at a time. So let's get started. In working on this, the bracelet is made of 20 gauge jump rings in the 1/8 size, 1/8 of an inch size. I figured this out in millimeters, and it looks like it's about right around 3.5 millimeters, but you could use a 3 millimeter, 3.5, 4 millimeter size, or really this weave is open to just about any size that you like. If you use a bigger ring, it's going to have a more open look. Smaller rings like this give you a nice compact weave. Looks like great jewelry. Now I've taken the bracelet that we made last time and I took off the clasp and that little Mobius end that we did last time, because we're just going to make it a little bit wider, and then you can add a wider clasp if you like. I have this great 3-strand necklace slide that I might use on this. We'll see what that looks like when we get to that point. What I've done, just to make this go a little bit faster, is I went ahead and opened and closed a bunch of jump rings already. So all of these are already open, and all of these are completely closed and ready for weaving. So these are not just like you would take them out of the package where they're almost closed. No, these have been completely closed and are ready to weave. The first step is to pick up a regular jump ring that's been opened, and I add, since this is the first row, I'm going to add 2 jump rings. So on the very first ring that you add on this new row, you're going to use 2 hanging off of it. So I have that, and I go to the end of my bracelet here, and I've got to make sure that everything's flipped around and laying in the proper order. And I've got my jump rings and my pliers. Come down here to this row, and I pick the 2 on the end, and I'm going to go through those 2 with this connector ring. And then close my jump ring. And that's what that looks like. So now this new connector ring has 1, 2, 3, 4 going through it. And that's pretty much how hard it is. This row that we just started, I used the connector ring and I added 2 closed jump rings to the piece with that connector. Every other connector that I add is going to have 1 jump ring on it, and this is going to continue the weave. So let's do that. All right, picking up my newest open jump ring and add my newest closed jump ring there. Now I'm going to add this to the bracelet. A little trick I do is I set the closed ring down on the table and kind of drag, and that way I'm not just plopping down and who knows which way that flips around. I set it down and drag it over, and I'm ready to take the end and go through 1 and 2. And then the last one of the one above. Well, that didn't work out very well. No matter how close I zoomed in, I still don't think I could really show which rings I was going through. So let me go get the larger jump rings that I had, which we demoed with in some of the earlier videos, and let's make sure that this is really clear, because I want you to see what's going on here. If you followed along so far, you saw we put one connector ring with 2 closed rings attached, so it's going through 4 now. So I'm going to do the same thing with our little sample here. So I pick up one open ring that I'm going to call my connector. I add 2 jump rings that are already closed onto that open ring. I come down here and do that little slide move so that they fall toward the end, and then I string this through. I weave through 1, then 2, right there. Then I will close this. Let me straighten everything out, get these going in the right direction. So now our 2 pieces match. And you see this connector ring here goes through 1, 2, 3, 4 other jump rings. And that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. All right, next step, pick up open jump ring, grab 1 closed jump ring this time, and slide over here, go through 1, 2. So basically I've gone through that one and that one. It's 1, 2, and then 3 is on this row. And I close that. And you see this ring kind of flips over, so you just put it down where it's supposed to go. There you go. My open jump ring here. Add a closed. Slide this over to my weave. Go through 1 here and 1 here. And the one on the bottom. And close it. And we'll just keep going. certainly did that one wrong. You can notice when you're working on these that if you do it right, it looks all nice and even, and the pattern repeats, and it's very uniform. However, if you mess something up, like I did over here, do you see how it just doesn't look right? So your best bet is to take apart the last thing that you did and redo it before you get everything off track. So it looks like I did, let's see, I've got, wow, I really made a mess out of that one. Let me take this connector ring off and I'll get it all straightened out. Flip everything around. Okay, that's looking better. All right, I think I went through the wrong rings there. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now I've added my 2 rows by speed weaving. So this would be the first row that was already there. I had 1, 2, 3, and I added 4 and 5. So if I wanted to add another row at this point, I would start it off just like I did here, just like when I added that row, which would be basically to take 1 open jump ring and 2 closed jump rings. And I have those, move this out of the way, and then go through the first 2 rings in that row. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 going through this one open. And then flip everything around where it's supposed to be. And then I would continue this row. My next connector ring would go through 1, 2, 3, and you can add the closed jump ring at the end if you wanted. So 1, 2, 3. And then you can add the closed there, and then close this one. And continue on. Now that you saw that with the larger jump rings, I'm going to show you what that looks like with the smaller jump rings on the bracelet that we were talking about. So I definitely think that that was a lot easier to see. I do hope you enjoyed this project on expanding the European 4-in-1 weave. If you liked this video, give me a like, leave me a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and click on notifications so that you learn when that next video comes out. Until next time, now you know, go make something.